Okay, before we move into the classical lighting patterns of the face, let me just refine the posing just a little bit more. We've talked about the full face 2/3 profile, but how about the rest of the body? How does it need to be positioned so we can really flatter our subject? Well, I'm going to, so many times, this is what we see on our wedding photography. The bride's got the bouquet way up here close to her face. We got her turned towards the light, towards the window, whatever else it happens to be here. So let's see if we can refine that. I learned a long time ago that we have to start with the feet first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Toby just kick her left foot towards me just a bit. Point the toe this way, just a fraction, perfect, and all the weight on the back foot. All the weight on your back foot, there you go. And that kind of throws the hip track and the shoulder track into proper alignment. We might want to refine that just a bit here along the way, but this is the groundwork for it anyway. The next thing I want to do, my rule is to have the bouquet down right below the waist, about 6 inches below the waist. And again, there are famous photographers that know how to pose the hands, and if it's above the waist, they're going to be this way. If it's below the waist, it's this way. I'm going to show you the Zeiser way to pose hands, and the Zeiser way to pose hands is, Toby, just roll the bouquet out towards camera just a bit to hide your hands behind it. I just keep it simple when I'm posing hands, just hide the hands and be done with it. So the other thing I want to do is I want to change every dynamic diagonal, or start over. I want to change every static vertical and static horizontal into a dynamic diagonal line. So as I'm looking at Toby right here, look at her right shoulder from the shoulder down to the elbow. It's kind of vertical right here. So Toby, just kick out that right elbow just a teeny bit. Perfect. And now from shoulder to elbow, elbow to wrist, we got nice diagonal lines. Same thing on her left elbow right over here. We got things kind of cooking right here. I'm going to tilt her head this way just a little bit more. Turn towards me just a little bit more. Let me get a photograph right here so we can talk about that. So now as we look at the image up on the screen, you can see the back elbow coming out. Basically the foundation set. I'm going to photograph her feet real quick so you can get a peek at the feet. So we see the right foot, or the left foot forward, all the weight on the back foot right here. I think that's a good start. But having said that, what's wrong with this image so far? What's wrong with it is I have Erin she's in the proper position, but I got my bride facing the light. Ladies and gentlemen of the viewing audience, burn this into your brain cells right here. If you really, really want to put detail, depth, texture, definition, color saturation into the photograph, what you need to remember is to have surfaces of the bride's gown. You want the light to be crossing that. Now I'm going to turn you, Toby, this way, turn shoulders away, more, kick your right foot towards me now. And now, okay, let's take a photograph right here so we can demonstrate. You're going to loop lighter for me, Erin, please, and cheat to me a little bit. Oh, sorry, one more, here we go. And now when we look at the image, you can see that we have plenty of detail in the textured part of the gown. Now what's really interesting as we move into the kind of a window light portion of this series of videos, you're going to see that so many photographers will just always face their bride right towards that light one more time, blasting away the beautiful detail in the bridal gown. So read my lips. Whenever you're illuminating your subject, always have the gown be cross-lighted, if you will. You want the light skimming across the surface of the gown to put highlights next to shadows for that detailed texture, definition, and color saturation of the scene.